Hi.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
joining us. And
Thank you for having me here.
it's our pleasure. Hopefully, this will be a very interesting 15 minutes chat here. And we'll probably also take some questions from our listeners here. And thanks for being the first to be part of this series. That's something special.
That's a huge honor, actually. Thank you so much.
Awesome. So I think we are all set. We are live. We have about close to 100 people watching right now, 63 to be precise. I'm also expecting a few more to join. It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon. So many of us are at our home, and being entrepreneurs, it's probably going to be a working day for many as well, I know. So let's just get on with it. So first of all, Tina, what a journey. I looked at your background. I read your story on Times of India and other places. I've seen your story, and it's just so inspiring for the generation today who are aspiring entrepreneurs who want to sell things online, who have a lot of ideas. So congratulations on launching your store and doing what it is that you're doing. With that, my first question would be, how did this all start out? Like, how did this whole idea come to your mind, or how did this whole idea get rolling?
Okay, so I think it was May of 2020. I started making illustrations for my closed ones, and I just gave up after a month. Ki, this is not gonna happen. I can't do this. And I was into drawing and sketching way back in school, but I tried digital art, and it didn't work out actually. But then later in September, it was one of my best friend's birthday, and my sister recommended that I make an illustration, we get it printed, and we'll make a small keychain out of it. And it was a laminated keychain, so not even durable. But I put that up on my story, and so many people reached out that I want one, how much is it for? And I started selling my products. That is how it all started, from my main handle, and I had to launch a store because it was growing. People wanted frames then. So after 2 months, in November, I started Artsy Momo. The name has a very weird story. My mom actually told me, "Are you going to be selling momos? Is that what's going to be? Why is it Artsy Momo?" But, yeah. But everyone now calls me that. So
yeah, I mean that's a nice choice you made. I don't think anyone will forget that name.
Yeah.
Was the product initially, the keychains and things like that, or has it evolved over a period of time, or are you still selling the same?
I started with the laminated keychains only. I think for around 2-3 months it was the keychains only, and then it started with frames. Then I shifted to a new place. I found more vendors, and that is how it progressed.
Got it. And that reminds me that in the last 2 years, specifically after the pandemic hit us, there's been a whole lot of talent that came online and started selling things, and Dukaan is happy to be part of it. And it just overwhelms me that there are these many opportunities out there. So nice to see young talent out there. Tell me something. When you started out, I'm sure that you must have faced a lot of criticism, especially from family and folks. Can you share a few with us, if you don't mind?
So my family, like my parents, were very, very supportive. My father actually made those keychains for me, the laminated ones. So he was the actual brain behind it, I'd say. He helped me make those and cut those properly. But one of my relatives once told me, ki, "Are you sure this is like, are people going to pay this much for it?" I was like, "Yeah, people do pay for it. Like, I'm earning, I'm buying things from this." So that's one thing that happened.
Got it. I mean, you see, that's one thing we see very consistently as a common thing with entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Like, will this actually take flight? That's a question that everybody gets when they start off, right? Like, do people pay for this? But then you realize that there's an actual, micro economy for this. There are actual, a loyal fan base for custom art and even thrift stores or scrunchies.
Definitely.
Right.
Like,
and
there are so many pages for the same niche, but people are still buying it. It's not like it's common, but it's still selling.
Got it.
It has value. People need to understand that.
Got it. And like the first product you sold, do you remember your first customer?
I do. It was one of my closest friends only, and it was her sister's birthday. She had ordered 4 keychains, and my entire family went to deliver it. We went in a car, I remember. I gave it to her. I remember completely.
Awesome, awesome. Hey, I noticed in your bio that you mentioned that you are run out of orders for January. How does this work? Like, do you have like some sort of inventory management, or is it a spreadsheet? Because usually this is where people get stuck when they get started with an online business, right? Like when
Yeah.
starts getting popular, now you don't know how many people ordered, or all these comments starts coming in, and it just gets bizarre and bizarre. So how do you manage it? You seem to have a very clear idea about what you're doing, so that's why the question.
So when the reels started blowing up initially, I used to take like orders whenever the customer wants it delivered. I used to ship it according to that date. But then I
Okay,
realized that there are a lot of orders coming in, and I can't go to the post office or I can't book shipments every other day because that wasn't convenient for me. I can't be packing orders every day.
got it.
So I made these batches. Like every month, there'll be 2 or 3 batches shipping out.
Okay.
And with all the orders coming in, I started taking orders for 3 months in advance. So
Oh,
that I think by August, no, I started my bookings in October first week, and I was booked until December end.
okay.
So 3 months went by, and I realized that this is not convenient for everyone. Like people can't be booking orders 3 months in advance.
Right,
So then I
right.
started monthly, but now
Okay,
monthly is also not working out. Like I December I started my bookings, and I'm booked for Jan right now.
okay.
So every batch has like approximately 15 to 20 orders.
Interesting, interesting. Okay, so, and do you have any plans on improving your product inventory? As in, like, are you bringing in more products, or are you going to stick to what you're really good at, or?
I recently launched phone cases, but
Oh,
I really want to launch a line of products which are not customized. Like I don't want everything to be customized as of yet, because then it becomes hectic for me since I'm the only one working on illustrations.
understood.
But that is what my entire page is about. People come for illustration, so that is where I'm facing a bit of an issue.
Got it. Got it. I mean, yeah, then scale becomes a problem, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's a good problem to have, I guess. You're known for, the custom stuff that you do, but also at some point of time, you need to think about how to make this one design go out to like 1,000 people.
Yes, exactly. So about the phone cases also, I designed 3 of them, and
Okay.
I wasn't sure if they'll actually sell out because I was very nervous, very, very, very nervous. But when
Okay.
I launched them, the post and the reel, both of them got viral, and the post itself has like 1,000 saves. So
Okay.
I think it did do well. I'm
Got it.
counting that as a win. And
Got
I
it.
shipped my first batch of phone cases today itself. Like 22
Oh,
cases went out today. So
nice. Nice. That's awesome stuff. Which makes me think. So, like on Dukaan, we have these different features where you can put up your inventory. You can put up like how many pieces
mhm.
of phone cases you have, and then only those many get sold. And if someone else comes in and tries to buy, it says out of stock and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you have any sort of management, like I don't know, spreadsheets, or it's all in your head? Maybe I don't know. I'm just trying to see,
No, no,
technically there is
it's
something that.
made to order. Like it's custom made only. So you place an order, within a
And then
week's time we'll make it and ship it. Yeah.
got it. Got it. Nice. Okay, let's go back a little bit. So you mentioned that you had some initial questions from your friends and family, but beyond that, once you started going in the pace that you wanted to, you started selling. Was there? I'm sure there are many roadblocks you came across, right? Maybe in procuring the raw materials or shipping, perhaps. Can you share with us maybe like 2 or 3 of those biggest roadblocks that you faced?
Definitely. So shipment was one of the biggest issues. That is the big loss that I faced in this journey.
Okay.
There are obviously losses in business. Like if you're running a business, you have to face a loss. It can't be all happy, happy all the time.
Right.
So
Right.
when I shifted my courier service, I initially used to ship locally, and I used to ship my frames in envelopes, and
Okay.
nothing happened then. But
Okay.
when I shipped it through this courier service, the new one, 5 of my glass frames, big glass frames, reached broken,
Oh.
and they all of them reached the same day. And I got the like messages from 4 customers saying it reached broken, and I was this close to crying. And then the
Oh.
last customer messaged, "Ki listen, it's broken," and she started crying. So I was like, listen, please don't cry. I'm going to cry now. And I broke down. And I remember hugging my mom and saying, Ki, what's going to happen? How am I going to do all this? I already faced a loss. And it was the very beginning. Like, this was March 2021.
Okay.
So, very tragic.
Got it. So did you just change your shipping provider or?
No. I removed that product because those were the glass ones and
Oh,
it was completely glass. There was no support at the back, so I
got it.
had to remove that.
Okay.
But I started shipping them in boxes because I have to take care of that now.
Got it. Got it. I know this might sound very uncool to say, but one thing that we've learned from our folks or customers who started their journey on Insta
Mm-hmm.
or WhatsApp or Facebook, like starting selling things online, is that this same problem that you mentioned, right? Like handling shipping, handling inventory management, it becomes a problem at some point of time. Um, and there's nothing you can do about it because it's social media. It's great for the reach, but then you can't really, like, for example, if you post a picture of your latest product, you get all kinds of comments from people asking, hey, what's the price? When can you start selling and everything? And then there's interest there, but then how do you convert that into sales? Because you don't know whether this person might just go absconding or, ghost you out, and you don't know
Yeah.
whether he or she wanted to buy the product or not. So scaling that is kind of a problem. And, what we try and recommend for our customers is, take a link of the actual product on Dukaan and put it in your comments so that if anyone wants to buy, click on it and then go in and buy it. So that way, most of your
That
headache is
actually
getting
makes it very convenient for the customer and the owner as well, right? Because
totally.
for me, I have to DM each and every person, and then I get so used to being ghosted. Like every day, I'm being ghosted by 10 customers at least. I'm like, huh,
Okay.
this is usual. This is gonna happen. ठीक है.
Yeah, I mean, you're lucky you just have 10, but imagine like, some of our customers.
No, that's
And
the minimum amount. That's the
I
minimum
know.
amount.
Yeah, so we always recommend to use the Dukaan link there in the comments and then it just takes care of itself. But yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Tell me something. How do you plan to scale this? I know there's customization options. This is a tricky question. I know you're smiling. The customization options, you have also mentioned that you want to scale it and have other products also in the line. So do you have any plan ahead? Because, this is a very interesting question because there are a lot of people who are in the same line, right? Similar products, and they also face the same question. So in their benefit, if you can share maybe some ideas that you might have.
I'm honestly, I do not have an answer for this. Like, I'm still figuring everything out because in the last 6 7 months the business has grown so much. I did a jump of 5,000 6,000 followers, and I had no idea where is this gonna take me.
Okay.
So I myself am still figuring it out, but I do plan to launch a website. I have talked to other business owners under the same niche, but I think the customizations that digital art requires, like artists require basically, is
That's a
very
bit of
different from just going on a website, clicking and buying a stuff.
got it. Got it. Yeah, we can help you with that once you make up your mind. Uh, do you do all of this all by yourself, or is there someone helping you?
Um, yeah, so my mom helps me with packaging. The
Okay.
entire digital art process is done by me, like making the illustration, talking to the customers, handling social media is done by me.
Okay.
Mom only helps in packaging. My dad helps with printing the labels and sometimes, helping here and there.
Okay.
That's it. That's my entire team, my family. That's the artsy move. Damn.
True entrepreneurship. True
Yeah.
true spirit
I'm
of
just
entrepreneurship.
I'm just gonna ask my mom to leave her job and join the artsy momo team because I really
Yeah,
need her on board now.
that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Cool. Um, you mentioned about your challenges. Tell me, how do you deal with customers? Like, for example, you mentioned that once your product broke and you couldn't do anything about it.
Hmm.
But let's say, for example, there was a delay in shipping, right? Something that you cannot control. How do you deal with that? Like customer service per se. Do you have like a list of customers you keep? Do you actively engage with them, or there are orders going in? Do you check in as to whether it's going on time or not, or those kind of feedbacks? How do you manage it?
So there have been these issues with delay in shipment sometimes because the shipment process is really not in my hands. Like I
Okay.
try to ship it from my So sometimes it happens that I ship the product through air so that it reaches on time, but it gets delivered even later. So that
Okay.
really is in my hands. And the policy, like if you go through my brochure, there is a policy mentioned that the shipment process is not in my hands, and if there's like
Got it.
if the frame breaks or something like that,
Got it.
I wouldn't be taking any liability for it.
Okay.
But I don't like. I personally don't like that factor because if you are buying something, you also have some expectations from like the business, right?
Yeah.
So I try to compensate for it if it's possible on my end.
Okay.
The five frames that broke, I tried to replace them. I did replace them with acrylic ones.
Okay.
So yeah, even if I have to face a loss, I wouldn't compromise on customer service.
Got it. Got it.
There
Tell me.
has been one incident where the shipment got lost, and the
Oh,
customer was very patient throughout the process, so I had to ship it again. But I think it's there in one of my reviews. She told me that other businesses wouldn't even, bother because it's not their responsibility. But she was happy that I shipped it again. So I think that matters. Like customer service matters a lot.
absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's the number one thing small businesses can hold on to, right? I mean, you could lose everything, but if you lose your customers, then, that's the
Yeah,
end.
there's no there's no point then.
Yeah. So like do everything that you can to make them happy. I know mistakes happen, and I think people
Yeah,
understand that. We buy from all kinds of places online, and sometimes there are things that are beyond the owner's control, and people understand that. But if you own up to it, if you apologize or just
yeah,
proactive about it, there's a lot of things that you can negate, right? I mean, you don't have to
definitely.
yeah go into the negative side. So great. Like on Dukaan we do have like a customers list, so we know like who bought what items and
Hmm.
everything. So if you want to like re-engage with them on a text or WhatsApp messages, things like, you can do that. So that's something that we learned from our early customers, and that's a feature that we have. Tell me
That's
something.
actually a very nice feature to keep a track of the customer because on the website, I think it becomes tough for other businesses to, keep a track and contact each and every customer.
Yeah.
I have purchased through like I spoke to you about it also. I have purchased through a store which is in link with Dukaan, and the
Okay.
entire process was so simple and smooth. And I really like that because I got updates of everything as and when the order was packed, when it was shipped on WhatsApp, on mail.
Yeah.
It was very convenient.
Yeah, we get that reaction all the time. Like people are like, "This is so incredibly easy," and that's the whole internal standard that we have. As like it should be as simple as possible, because otherwise, then it's just very complex, and people don't like complex things. We want to make it as simple as possible. So, from actually getting the product, sorry, checking out the product to buying it, and then the whole delivery and everything is just in one seamless, simpler way. So yeah, cool. Tell me a little bit. How do you do the promotions? A lot of people struggle with promoting their products, because one of the things that we have seen is that in the last 2 or 3 years there's been a whole lot of people coming on to social, Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook, and whatnot, and everybody's doing reels, everybody's doing pictures, everybody's doing videos. How do you stand out? And is there any tips that you can share with us today that others can also?
So this is my little secret to these 50 people here. This is what I've noticed that on Instagram, emotional stories, like just not manipulating, but in a sort manipulating people, like emotionally, na, they think, ki, oh, this will be very cute for my loved one. I should buy this. So making your reels or making your post, the photos that you click, the photography, it needs to be very aesthetic. Like, please don't use filters because
Hmm.
I have done that and I know it doesn't sell. Not
Okay.
at all. Like
Okay.
it should be clicked in natural sunlight, or your product needs to be there because if someone's receiving the product, it should look like the one in the picture.
Okay. Got it. Got
So
it. Otherwise, it
that
could
is
be.
what.
Got it. But do you do any kind of particular content production, like reels or anything of that sort that has worked for you?
So I have seen so many uh, pretty aesthetic content, and I really wish to shoot it that way. But with all the limited sources that I have, I just everything is done by me as of now. So
Okay.
I just try to use all the things around me, like use things from your house, use a plain background or a plain backdrop.
Okay.
Those are all the tips
I
that
guess,
I have as of
I
yet.
guess your product is so awesome it sells by itself.
Maybe.
that helps a little bit. Awesome. So we are closing in on the 25th minute here. So just to wrap up things, before we wrap up things, there's one final question to you. There are a lot of aspiring young entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, or hustlers, as you call it, out there in India, trying to sell, all kinds of things. And we've seen so many new products come online that we haven't seen in the last, couple of years. And that's always a good thing. Fresh ideas, newer ways of selling, newer places being sold to. What is your 3 tips to young entrepreneurs who? 3 tips. It is not cliche. Right? 3 tips that you want to give them who wants to start their own store or get into the online selling space, so to speak.
So before you even start, I think there are a lot of things to figure out. I did not think of those things, but I would really, give this advice that please think about your branding, your logo, at least your logo, your branding. Colors also matter a lot. Your brand colors matter a lot.
Okay.
And feed, I think Instagram is changing its entire thing that feed organization isn't really that important now with the
Okay.
more usage of reels. But
Okay.
that's one thing, the first tip. The
Okay.
second one I'd say is that don't like don't give up in the very beginning. It takes time. It's a slow process. But once you start getting in orders, or not even orders, once people get to know about your products, then it's all about word of mouth, right? If you
Yeah.
buy it, you will tell others also that if you like it, then others will also come to your store.
Yeah.
That has actually happened a lot, so I think
Okay.
that's a huge factor.
Okay.
And use reels. The third one is actually reels because that is how I grew, and I've seen so many other businesses grow because of that. Instagram is all about reels right now, so that's
Yeah.
gonna. If you're on Instagram, then yes, please do reels.
Okay. Wonderful. So aesthetics, focus on your brand,
Yes,
your logo.
aesthetics.
Got it. And do more reels, more kind of content that people like.
Relatable content because people will relate to you. Like most of my reels have blown up because of that reason.
Okay.
People find it relatable and they share it. And yeah, just
And
don't
what?
try to stand out. Don't copy.
Got it. Got it.
No plagiarism.
Understood. And of course, the most important, I think, what I'm learning from here is that don't give up in the early stages because you get a lot of criticism from your friends and family. But use them as a fuel if you can, and just be consistent as much as possible. This is one thing that I personally give out as well. So this is awesome stuff. What are your future plans? Where do you see yourself? I'm asking all the cliche questions today. Where do you see yourself 2 years from now?
Oh, future. If my mom's watching, Mama, I do want to make this business something. But yeah, so right now I'm still studying. I'm in my second year of college. But once I do get done with my graduation, after
Okay.
my master's, I do plan to make Artsy Momo a bigger business and not a small business anymore. With
Awesome.
the standardized products, not custom mainly, but I don't want to shut this down after I'm done with my studies. That's
Got
the
it.
main plan as of yet. And I do wish to have a studio of my own,
Okay.
hopefully soon.
Wonderful, wonderful. I can clearly see you shining bright, awesome stuff coming ahead. I don't think you will be going down or shutting shop or any of those things. If at all anything, you will be doing 10x better, bigger things. So we wish you all the best for that, and we are here to help you. Should you need any help, this has been amazing, Tina. Thanks a lot for spending this much time with us and sharing your insights. For all of you who are listening to this, check out Tina's store. It's called Artsy Momo, and she has some amazing custom art stuff there. For all of you who are aspiring to start your own online store, go ahead and check out Dukaan. You can get started in under a minute.
Minute. Yeah.
Reading about it, and there are some very cool stuff. I mean, we learn from folks like you who are trying to do these things, and hustlers basically. And every day is a learning process. So this is all wisdom for us. So thanks a lot once again for doing
Thank
this.
you.
For everyone else who is listening, this was the first episode in our Inspiring Small Businesses series. We'll have more people, more interesting, more exciting stuff coming up in the next episodes. Hopefully, we'll do I think one episode every week or so, or even more frequent than that. So thanks a lot. Keep your support coming in. Thanks a lot for tuning in today. We'll be signing off today, and see you soon.